we've got a fantastic guest in studio this morning. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever thought about a raise but didn't know how to go about getting it? Maybe your art of persuasion is not good. Well, we have the author this morning of the book called The Authentic Salesman, Mastering the Art of Transforming Real Objections into Real Transactions. The sharply dressed Michael McIntyre is here this morning. Come on up, Michael.
Michael, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good morning. A pleasure to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm going to tell you, Michael, man, you're impressive just seeing you, man.
Oh, you guys are. Congratulations on all the Emmy nominations.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. So tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself before we get to the book.
Sure. I was born and raised in Michigan and joined the Air Force. In fact, I was telling somebody earlier that I spent some time here in San Antonio.
Did you?
Lackland Air Force Base.
Fantastic.
In Camp Bullis. And quickly got into the insurance business and was blessed to be a good salesperson and started that going and did real well and got into my own insurance agency and company and did well.
So what you thought, Michael, is, man, I've learned a lot about how to sell oneself. Are people having trouble doing this?
Yes, especially asking for a raise.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people feel very self-conscious or have a lot of angst.
Maybe not worthy and so, all kinds of
That's
things.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, we make up a lot of things in our minds as salespeople or as people in general, because we're all in sales, Paul, as you know. So what I try to coach people on and what we do in our trainings is say, listen, you've already got no going in, so don't worry about it. All you can do is improve on your situation.
Awesome. Well, what's the biggest mistake a lot of people make when they go in and they ask for that raise? They get like too cocky or what?
Well, first thing they have to do is they need to do a 360. Ask some of their peers that they work with how they're showing up at work. It's always good to ask, you know, like some of your people here and say, hey, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I doing okay? Am I being a drag on the company? Or am I being awesome? Am I helping out? You got good feedback, then approach your boss. Never ambush them. Okay? Send an email saying, hey, I'd like to sit down and talk to you about my compensation package.
Right.
Then,
Oh, very nice. My compensation package.
Exactly.
Right, instead of saying I need some more money.
Yeah,
Talk about my compensation package.
There you go.
Absolutely.
It's all in how you deliver, I guess.
It is. And then when you're in there in your meeting, have your brag sheet ready. This is not a time to be humble. Make sure you give a copy to the interviewer or your boss. And don't talk through the sale. So many of us get nervous and we keep talking. So after you make the ask, shut up. And stay shut up.
And let it kind of simmer.
Yes.
Because isn't the truth, Michael, that people who are in positions to hire also have bosses themselves? So when you come in with your list of things that you've done right, maybe they know it and they just haven't had time to acknowledge it because they're trying to please somebody else too, right?
Excellent question. That's exactly what happens. And so, excuse me, what you want to do is make it easy for your boss to say yes and easy for him or her to sell it to their boss.
And it's also all about timing, too, I guess.
It's true.
You got to know. I mean, if the boss looks like he's really mad and the doors are closed, that may not be the right time.
That's right. You need to look at the tea leaves, I call it. So, you know, kind of if you know your company's doing well, and today you've got Google, we're blessed with so much internet technology, check it out. See if how your company's doing. And if you wake up and look at CNBC and see your boss being handcuffed, it might not be a good time to go ask for a raise. So, but you'll know. If people are getting laid off, it's not a good time. But you'll know. And also, remember this. You know, if you're an invaluable employee, if you make yourself great and focus out, if you have integrity, intelligence, and a strong work ethic, you deserve to have a raise, and you're probably in demand.
So let me ask you this, Michael. I mean, I think it's no secret that a lot of companies today are doing more with less when it comes to money, when it comes to resources, when it comes to employees. What happens when you're in there and it's not going well? I mean, you start to hear someone say, look, I'd love to, but...
Right. Yeah, and that you need to be ready for that. And so acknowledge that, be courtesy with that, and do not let your emotions take over. Okay? And once you leave that interview, if you didn't get what you wanted, then it might be time to reassess your situation at that company.
Wow. You know, one thing just occurred to me. What is the magic dollar figure? I mean, do you go like 10%, I'm worth 20%, 30% more? I mean, how do you do that?
Great question, Paul. What I train people to do in our coaching is say, look, if you want a 5% raise, ask for a 10%. If you want an 8% raise, ask for a 12%. Reach for the stars. If you just catch the moon, okay. And also, it gives your boss some wiggle room to say, you know, Paul, you're really good. Your weather report's
you're not that good.
You're not that good. So instead of 10%, we're going to give you 8%. And everybody wins.
Sure.
And let's talk about what happens when maybe in the office it's not a yes today. It doesn't mean it's not a yes a month later.
Exactly.
What do you do to kind of maintain your relationship with your boss? Because I think it's always uncomfortable at some point when you go in and you ask for something that hasn't been initially offered.
Yes.
And then you have to conduct yourself in the same way in that workplace, and the boss knows that you have now some new expectations.
Well, one thing, and that's true, one thing is good, though, it allows your boss to know that, hey, you're ambitious, that you want to make a difference for that company and continue to make a difference for that company. Put yourself out there. You know, don't be late. Don't be watching the clock at 5 o'clock. Don't do the Fred Flintstone at 5 o'clock. Okay? Show up on time. Be the go-to guy or the go-to girl. Okay? Always. And that will make you invaluable in your boss's eyes.
Wow.
And then you have a better opportunity to reevaluate your compensation package. Okay.
The bigger the package, the better, right?
I guess.
Right?
Okay, here is the book. This woman said, no comment in the audience. TheAuthenticSalesman.com is the website. That's how you get the book by Michael McIntyre. Michael, I think you're on to something.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Man,
you very much.
Appreciate
it.
you on.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.